Okay, hi guys, Coach Bon here. So went on a rant previous video, felt a lot better now. So back to trying to put out positive videos about narcissists. Okay, so in today's video, in this particular video, I'm going to try to make a case on what happens when a narcissist self-actualized. Okay, so meaning here they manage to regulate themselves emotionally. They manage to be true to themselves, and finally do what they're passionate about. Okay. All right. So before we talk about Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, okay, I'm not calling them narcissists. Okay, I have no idea who they are. All right, they might be all, but they have their own personalities, of course. I don't know their doctors. I don't know their therapists or whatever. They do go to those places. Uh, but let's assume these two people are. Let's just imagine these two people are narcissists. Okay. At the very least, you have to admit these people have very strong narcissistic tendencies. Okay. Now, if in previous videos I do mention about the primary motivation of a narcissist, and that is always to try to process our guilt and shame and to attempt to create a world where we get a relief from the guilt and shame. Okay, so always keep that in mind, guys. When you're dealing with a narcissist, there's always an extreme trauma of guilt and shame, and we are generally trying to find relief from these two emotions. Okay, so I believe there's a genetic component which makes it a bit more visceral for us, a bit more tougher for us to feel narcissism. Sorry, to feel guilt and shame. All right. So once you look at it through those lenses, then you'll understand why narcissists are driven to achieve that fantasy that they have in their heads. All right. So the fantasy differs. There's all kinds of fantasies that a narcissist will have, but generally speaking, it's uh, we attempt to create ourselves. We attempt to create a world where we do not feel guilt or shame anymore. A beautiful wonderland that allows us to feel relief, that allows us to feel joy, that allows us to feel love, perhaps. So always bear it in mind. Now, generally speaking, a narcissist will be relentless in trying to achieve this world. Okay, the reason being uh, the pain is too much. The pain is too much. So, in order to achieve that goal, we need somehow to regulate certain aspects of the pain. Hence, the narcissism comes into play. Okay, so it's very efficient. Like I said, it's very efficient in how it does this. Okay, uh, so okay, imagine this, guys. Let's say someone says a bad thing about you. Okay, this is not for the narcissist. For the narcissist, this is like automatic. For a normal person, all right. Let's say someone calls you stupid. Hey, you stupid, man. You're in front of other people. So you immediately feel shame because this person is shaming you, right, in front of other people. Now, immediately you'll feel anger, all right, because this person is trying to is causing that emotion in you. You don't like it. Okay. Even for a normal person, this feeling is something you don't like. Now, you know, if you act in a provocative manner, you are going to respond stupidly. Okay, you'll fall into the trap. Okay, so what do you do to make sure that you are in control? Because you don't want that other person to be in control of what you do. You want yourself to be in control. So what you do is you make all kinds of mental alchemy. All right. So, for example, you'll reframe the situation. Okay, I'm not stupid. This person is stupid for calling me stupid, for example. Okay, the second thing is you probably will say, I'm obviously an intelligent person. Why should I be affected by this person who calls me stupid? So all kinds of mental alchemy you will use to make sure that the provocation from this person who's trying to shame you does not work on you, and then you respond accordingly. Now, for most people, that thought process requires some kind of active, what do you call this? You have to actively do it. It's not something you can do like in a snap of a finger, right? Something you have to actively think about, and then also eventually it'll become a habit. Now, the thing is, after it becomes a habit, every time that situation comes, boom, you immediately control your mind. You immediately respond to those kind of provocations accordingly already. So it's the same with the narcissist. The narcissist, however, has been doing this mental alchemy since we were a child. So that habit is been ingrained in us. So you see it outwardly as us being haughty, arrogant, feeling of superiority, those kind of stuff. It's because it's like I said, it's a learned behavior that we learn since childhood. Okay, it's something you do actively. Okay, you try to do it yourself, but for narcissists like us, it's automatic. It's effortless. Okay, so we kind of overdose on the whole situation. Okay, so it's a protective mechanism. All right. Typically speaking, a narcissist will feel guilt and shame every single second of his life. Okay, so this protective mechanism is needed to make sure that we don't kill ourselves. Okay, looking at those things in that lens, that would explain the reason why people have ambitions and dreams. That is totally unrealistic. Because the dream I have in my mind, the person that I think that I am, is totally unrealistic. If I tell it to you right now. And then if you listen to how Steve Jobs talked, if you listen to how Elon Musk talked, it is so out of this world. It's insane. Elon Musk especially, like the vision he has in his mind is to go to Mars, man. What kind of person can actually think in those terms? To actually go to Mars and revolve his whole life around going to that space. I'll tell you who. Probably someone who's very narcissistic. I don't know what Elon Musk went through in his whole life. Probably he gave up on Earth already. So he decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to create my own world right up in Mars. Okay, everyone's going to use my tech, and I'll never feel the guilt and shame anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing that goes into his mind. But in any case, that is what happens when you have a narcissist with his fantasies. Okay, it seems real. It seems visceral. Okay. Now the second thing would be we will be driven to achieve this this fantasy, this goal, this mission. We'll be driven by it because we can see once we reach that stage, once we reach that goal, that is when we do not need this narcissism anymore. That because the guilt and shame is gone. The world that we imagine has been created. So the guilt and shame is gone. We got relief forever and ever. That is how our mind works. If you're asking why we are relentless in trying to achieve our goal, that's the reason. Because we feel as we achieve those goals, we will lose our we'll lose this guilt and shame that we always feel. Might be real, might be true, might be not, but I'm trying to explain to you why narcissists are relentless at trying to achieve their goal. Okay, the third thing is it's also the reason why we are willing to sacrifice others to achieve that. Oh, this one is depending on Anula. This one is depending on uh, the narcissist also. Okay, not necessarily all narcissists will trample on people, but in any case, the goal will be the main thing in their minds, and they will not really feel like it'll be worth it for them to achieve the goal, regardless of who they have to step on. Okay, but of course, there are narcissists who are a bit more delicate about it, and there are narcissists who's like literally just trample over you. Act like psychopaths. So narcissists typically, if they're very well adjusted, will look like ambitious, hardworking leaders. At least in my definition of self-actualized. All right. And these people, like I said, once they achieve whatever goal that they have in mind, it a proper self-actualized narcissist will actually bring good to society and people around him. That's how it is. Now, having said that, there's a catch. There's a catch. In order for the narcissist to be able to do this, he needs a partner. He needs a partner. All right? The primary partner. I call it the primary partner because he needs a safety net. He needs a safety net. Okay? So you can see between Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, they have different strategies on how to create the safety net. By all accounts, uh, they seem to be okay people, right? Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. Okay, maybe Steve Jobs a bit of a dick with his workers. I guess I'm not sure. I'm just looking at based on the videos on his movies. While Elon Musk seems to, I wouldn't say treat his workers badly, but he does have a high standard of them. They have to conform to what he wants to do, to similar to Steve Jobs as well. All right. So the one who actually will regulate a narcissist, I keep saying this with everyone, okay? The one who regulates the narcissist is the primary partner. The primary partner, the wife, the girlfriend, the fiance, perhaps the parents even. Okay, I don't suggest using a child as your primary partner because they're the kids. Okay. Now I spoke in a previous video. The primary partner becomes the adult in the relationship. Okay. Their job is to validate the narcissist, guide him, teach him how to be an adult. So if people ask me, why do you want to heal? The reason I want to heal is I want to be like these people. Because I feel once I'm able to regulate my emotions and have a safety net with my primary partner, I'll be able to achieve these great things. The reason being, okay, these people have their own idea of what a fantasy world should be like, where there's no guilt and shame on them. I also have that fantasy in my mind. So think about it, guys. All the greatest people who achieve a lot of things in the world, you got to ask yourself, could they be narcissists? And I'm not saying narcissists as bad people. Huh? I'm just saying narcissists as in having those characteristics. Because obviously you're going to get good narcissists and bad narcissists. I'm trying to make the case. Okay, all of you know already about bad narcissists, right? Covert, overt, this, that, whatever. I'm making the case for narcissists who contributes to society if they're allowed to do so. So I'm going to coin the term self-actualized narcissist, which is what I aspire to be, a self-actualized narcissist. So whoever's watching this video right now, I'm going to share with you my fantasy. I hate capitalism. In my opinion, it's the reason why it's causing so much pain in my life. But I like free markets. I like competition. I like being a winner. So what am I going to do? My fantasy is I've created a world where instead of profit being the main motive of the capitalist system, I want to create a world where the main motive is people getting valued and happiness. Everyone in my company, I imagine, never have to go to this bullshit value based on whether they're productive, whether they're based on uh, how much they earn, whether how much they consume. My company is going to be the best company in the world. Why? Because everyone's in it happy. They don't have to live through shame. No creditors knocking on their door. Not in my company. You know what's the KPI in my company? You know what's the key performance index in my company? How much my employees earn. I don't even want to call them employees. I want to call them my partners. Everyone there is partners. It doesn't mean there's not going to be a leader. Obviously, I imagine myself to be the leader in such a company. I believe that's how I'm going to solve all the world's problems. That's my fantasy. What type of person am I? In my mind, I'm the ultimate teacher. I'm the ultimate mentor. I will pave the way for every single person in that company. They won't have to go through what I had to go through. All this bullshit about money and sales and profits all the time. Consume, consume, consume. You only look as successful if you have a Versace bag, Yeah, I do sound like a hypocrite, considering, the stuff that I have. But that's how you get supply at the moment, right? So I gotta do what I gotta do. That's how people look at me, and and I get validated, at least for now. But I can tell you, once I set up that company, every single person in that company is gonna love me. Because everyone will be like me, and I'll be like them. Like I said, it's a fantasy. It's my dream, and I'm going to achieve it. End of video.